Alright, we're going to get into our final steps of assembly here. And this is kind of how we left things. Believe it or not, my sliding lid is installed. I put on a clear one. And you can probably see now why I've chosen to use this scuffed acrylic for most of the video. But now I want things to look a little bit more like your machine looks, because we're going to be doing some operational tests before long, and I want you to be able to see through this lid and see what the rotor's doing, just like you'd be able to do on your machine. The rocker arms are still off from when we took them off earlier to put on these rails, the rail uppers I should say. And I wanted to point out one thing here, which is if you look at my rotor push pin, you can see that it's kind of not exactly vertical here, or it's not straight up and down, it's off to the right a little ways. And yours probably is too, and that's okay. Yours might be off to the left a little ways too. The lid is cut long enough that it'll always cover the reward basket, even if the angle of the servo varies by about 10-15 degrees even. We have a much less severe variance than that here, but I just wanted to mention that so that you don't worry if your rotor isn't exactly in line with everything. It's actually kind of hard to get them that way because of the distribution of the teeth on the top of the servo, and the servos sometimes have a little bit of their own mind about where the position actually is. So we designed around that, and I don't want you to worry about it anymore. So I'm going to give you kind of a crappy flyover of how I have things set up here on my bench, because this is kind of what I view as maintenance mode. So I have the rails off and in front of me here, and then just ahead of that I have my electronics right here resting on top of the reward basket. And then inside the box there's not much going on at all, except for our coin sensor is installed down inside there. So the order here is we're going to get our rocker arms weighted and reinstalled, and then we're going to put everything inside the box, and then we can get on to some actual functional testing. So make sure you keep nearby you these caps for the rocker arms that we took off earlier. And then also, we're getting pretty low on parts here. You should be able to find in your clear parts these two discs with holes in them. And then we need our weights, our counterweights. I like to use washers for this, and that reason will be obvious soon. I went around my shop and weighed all my washers, and I found that these washers have 5 of these washers weigh 40 grams. And I've decided that I want about 40 grams of weight on each of my rocker arms, because that will end up giving me about 3.5 to 4 ounces of activation weight on my Crowbox perch. And that weight is a little low for crows, but it is a good weight for things like Stellar's jays and magpies, and I expect to see a lot of Stellar's jays. So you may want to add more counterweight if you think you're going to have heavier birds, or you feel that you'll need to filter for lighter birds. But probably a weight of about 40 grams is good for most everybody. So I am going to get started with putting those counterweights onto my rails, or my rockers rather. So I'll take my first rocker arm here and find these dimples in it. This one nearest the rear is the one I'm interested in, and so we're going to do our normal X here, just to puncture that, and then I'm going to put a 16mm machine screw through that, and it'll need to be driven because of the tape. There we go. So with that 16mm screw through there, I'm going to put 5 of my washers on, a stack of 5, just like that, and then one of these little caps and a nut. And it's worth paying attention to what I just did. I put my machine screw through from the foil side so that my counterweight ends up on the same side as the spine and the wire connection that we have made earlier. And then this process just needs to be repeated, obviously, for the other rocker. Through from the foil side, get 5 washers onto it, and this little cap. The little cap wouldn't be necessary, except for my particular washers here, the hole is about as big as the nut for the machine screws, and so I don't want any of my weights falling off. So the little cap is nice for retaining those. Okay, so now my counterweights are on, 40 grams on the end of each of my rockers. So now we'll switch to getting the rockers put back onto the machine. I left my little nut here, and then you can just visually verify that you still have a washer in place here, because that washer is very important. And then again, you want your rocker arm to go on so that this screw that protrudes in the back will be in a position to contact this foil when it comes up, and then the rocker should rest on this lower stop here. I'm not even sure if it's possible to put them on wrong, but that's how you want it, and then you can sort of test it. And when that rocker is in place, the counterweight's going to fight you a little bit here, so until we have this nice cap on. Want that installed firmly. And then you can see how the rocker arm functions, but the force required is greater now, which is what we want, because the rockers need to hold back the weight of the perch, which is fairly significant, relatively speaking, and also then account for the weight of the bird that we want to detect. So I'll take off this screw that I left parked, verify that my washer is still in place, cap this off. Just get the nut back on. Test this rocker. Okay, all seems good. So with our counterweights in place and our rockers reinstalled, we're going to get ready to put all these guts inside the machine. We're approaching the point where we're going to be powering up this machine, so I'm going to install my warning labels now, and those are available on the Crowbox website. And what we're trying to do here is make sure everyone understands that they can potentially get pinched here depending on what's going on when they try to put their hand back here behind the sliding lid. So at the top edge here, just inside the slots for the rails, I like to place these 2 pinch point warnings. And I think everyone should. You might not be the only person who ever messes with your Crowbox. And then we have this reminder to disconnect the power. Before reaching into this area. So now my warning labels are applied there, and the reason those are there will be a little more clear once we put the rails into place. And you understand that there is a place where back here where hands could go, and you might end up with something down here you want to reach, but it is important to turn the power off before you do that, just so the sliding lid doesn't come back and bump into your hand there, or potentially pinch you. I'll take a little bit of a wider angle here, which I don't like to do because it shows how messy my work area is. But what we're going to do first is take the electronic sled here and look at the back where the strain relief is and see how much these wires might be poking out these loops here. We want to flatten those as much as we can by pulling the wires from the, gently pulling the wires from the bottom slot, like that. So then all that we really need to do is account for the power cable here. Take that power cable, and I'm just going to run it off like that to the back for now. And then with the electronic sled in my left hand and the rails in my right, I'm going to take the electronic sled and slide it into its home back here, just like that. And then I'm going to run the electrical power under my rails and out to over here for now. Then, as we've done a bunch of times before, just clip these little tabs on the front of the rails into these slots at the top of the machine. At this point, make sure that your sliding lid has come through this slot at the front, and then just lower everything down into place. And make sure that the rails click into the back, and that if you look inside your basket down here, you want to see that you have the tabs from the rails occupying these slots down inside. And then I think, yeah, look at that. My little coin drawer is still installed here. Take that out. All right. So now you can kind of see what we're doing with those warning labels. When the machine is fully open, this space back here will appear to be vacant. But you can see that when the machine closes, the lid comes all the way back almost here, and there's only about 25, 27 millimeters of clearance here. Not enough for a hand, so you wouldn't want your hand down inside there when it opens. So install your warning labels and pay attention to them. So now you can kind of get a feel for how the machine's going to function here with the rocker arms and where the electronics are going to live over here. So the next step here is to get this powered up and go through our function tests.